Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities in Miniatures, and today we have something that's really not so miniature, it's actually pretty freaking massive. That is the Figurize Standard Amplified Imperialdramon. Not the Paladin mode, but just regular old-fashioned Imperialdramon, but he does still transform. Now, I will admit, I was never super into watching Digimon when it was on TV. I was not the target age or audience for it, but I have always appreciated the designs of the creatures that permeated the show. Imperialdramon, I used to have actually quite a few of the little collector's edition SD little squishy figures, and I've lost quite a few of them over the years. And Imperialdramon was always one of my favorites. I used to always teach math with them. That made math quite interesting back then. But anyways, this massive, massive box, I am absolutely excited to start building because it is going to be a lot of work. So one of the nice things about all these Figurized kits is everything is totally color-coded for the most part, all in injection color. You do have just a very small amount of stickers. Hopefully no more decals. You can see quite large pieces. If you haven't seen, I've got Wardramon already posted, as well as Omegamon, or Omnimon, or whatever they call them these days. Where are all the wing parts? To the legs. Here's what we want. Instructions. Sadly no shiny gold, but that's probably for the best. Here's the wings, okay. I'm like half expecting it to have these massive wings, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Let's get that junk out of the way. Alright, we've got assembly directions and reminders in quite a few different languages. Okay. We've got in English and in Japanese. Actually, the amount of sprues really doesn't look that bad. Yeah, there's a couple doubled up. Looks like sprue E, for the most part, is actually the only one that's doubled. Maybe he's just going to be really, really big. Now, I'll be honest, I know he's supposed to have his two modes, like Animal and Paladin mode, or whatever. Paladin mode was where he had the big sword, I know that. I'm just going to ignore most of the Dragon mode stuff. And we're going to just go ahead and Fighter mode, that's what it is. Okay, what's the other mode called? Mode change. Dragon mode and fighter mode. Okay. I'm going to have mine in fighter mode. Even though I did build the Garurumon, the middle Garurumon, and it was a nice change of pace, I gotta say, I do like the big heroic styled posed monsters more. So we're going to go ahead and get that one built up, and we'll grab the other Digimon models that I've got handy, and we'll see how they all stack up. So sit tight. Alright, well, we got Imperialdramon all put together here, and yeah, you'll notice he's in Dragon mode. That wasn't actually intended, but that's the way the directions suggested building it, so we went ahead and did that. First thing I'm not a big fan of is the fact that as the Dragon mode is built, his head seems to sit really low, doesn't really look up, and if you do, things start to pop off. Now that's okay, because that stuff actually is supposed to pop off on the head when we go ahead and transform him. Got the big positron cannon thing there, the missiles on the legs. I mean, overall, and I also don't like the fact that the tail just sticks really high up. But let's be honest, outside of this video, he's probably never going to go back in this mode. So if you give me a sec, I'm going to grab him and we will get things all transformed up. Now, it's not the most complicated transformation, I will admit. Get everything here, and we'll get them all swapped over. So here we go. If I can get it all on the screen even, that's going to be a good question. He is quite big when switched into his humanoid mode. Just to give you an idea, there's that 1/144th Gundam next to it, so it's probably close to a 1/100th scale kit. Basically, his transformation amounts to take off the head, stick it on the chest, remove the original chest piece, pop on the head, pull the limbs out, switch around some parts, stick those shin guard things on the shoulders, which don't really stay very well, unfortunately. And he's not the most sturdy in terms of balance at the moment. Grabbing some of the other Digimon kits that they have put out so far. I'm getting a hard time. I think part of the issue is he's very wide in the chest and these shoulders, but then his torso is so teeny tiny. This is an issue I've had with a couple other kits, Omnimon or whatever he's called there, Omegamon. I don't know the correct terminology for my Digimon, unfortunately. The white thing with the animal heads. So you can see he's kind of... There we go. Be stable, my friend. Definitely taller than him. But yeah, he suffers the same thing with the tiny little waist. At least he's not as wide, but his arms tend to be the issue there. Grabbing my favorite of the bunch so far. He's still, I think, the most rock-solid choice if you wanted to get any of these Digimons. The Wardgreymon kit. Really, overall, a fantastic kit. Quite an enjoyable build there as well. And my surprisingly fun one, Magna Garurumon. At least I'd say with his four-legged stance, considering it's actually a dedicated model, even though he's not on the screen at the moment, his lightning jet things are getting in the way here. Let's get your wings clipped, my friend. At least I'd say his limbs that are designed for that four-legged stance, whereas the transformation gimmick, I don't really think it works for Imperialdramon. Personally, I would have much rather seen it just solid, built up like this, but that's just me being picky. So, I mean, honestly, it's nice. It's definitely a nice, sturdy kit. Not a whole lot of stickers or anything like that necessary. It's just, I think, maybe I need to play around with it some more. I feel like he's got too many joints that want to pop out, move around, and do things I don't want them to. But that just might be one of those unfortunate side effects of having a transforming kit. The wings want to get in the way too. I'm afraid with the fan blowing, it's going to knock him over. But overall, it looks nice, and I think, especially having had some time to play around with it, I think I can finally figure out how to get it into a good pose. And here's what I mean. See, there's this little plug on the shoulder. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's very dark there. But this stud right here doesn't actually fit into it. It just kind of slides over and clips on. I don't like that. I'd like things to be a little bit more sturdier and lock it in. You can see it sits all right. And this part needs to be glued. This connection part of his upper arm does not want to stay on. We'll have to work on that. That's part of the joys of building models, right? When all the pieces don't want to cooperate with you. Maybe it's just me. Hard to say. I am still curious the fact that we've got the gaps in the hands where you can definitely insert stuff. Obviously, for his laser cannon, there are little grips for him to hold on to, so you can pose it like that. Like, I think it's supposed to open the mouth of the dragon head and stick in there, but gives me hope that one day we will see the paladin mode where he's like all white or whatever with the big giant blade, and maybe we'll get lucky and that one will have a dedicated humanoid form. Hard to say. And again, part of the issue also is he's so top heavy, it seems, with the wings, with the arms, with the shoulders, and despite having quite a large stance with those feet of his, he wants to topple over. Ay, ay, ay. At least the tail is good for balancing that. You're just going to keep coming off. Okay. I think that's my cue to wrap things up here. So if you don't mind the transformation gimmick, and if you're not going to move it around too much... I'm having flashbacks to a different kit, and I haven't had a chance to even pose that one yet. We'll have to show you guys that. Otherwise, I think once I get these kinks ironed out, it's going to be a nice looking kit. So we'll leave it at that. With that said, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.